Welcome everybody to TakeOver Portland.
Who is left sawing lumber in Portland?
This is a rated R review. You like brace for impact, and it really braces for impact. Like it becomes very sturdy when you bring them together.
We're going to start from the beginning on this one then. So let me put my shirt back on, and we'll go from there. And this way, you guys can actually see what's going on, because I know Colin couldn't see anything that was happening.
all I can see is the back.
You know what would help is if we lubed your chest up.
Oh God!
Can you imagine the smack? Lube up your chest, lube up my palm.
Little baby.
Go all Joey Ryan with it, just.
There's some band on his chest.
This mask is hurting. It's hurting my face.
Okay. Hey folks, so I lost another bet, the Chris Willis bet. I voted for Bianca Belair to win this match, and it didn't happen. So now I'm going to be taking 3 chops to the chest, just like last time. So Wizardo's here to deliver him. So woot woot, fuck this shit. Let's get it over with. You ready, Stefan?
I'm supposed to be anonymous, Jerry.
What the fuck ever, dude. Let's just do this.
Okay, here we go. Welcome everybody as the NXT team reviews NXT TakeOver Portland, Oregon 1. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
Tonight our special guest, we've got the bearded bastard, Jon Shartzer. How's it going, John?
I'm excellent. I'm tired, but I'm ready to do it.
I agree. Tired. Colin Andrew, the cleaver himself. How's it going, Colin?
Dude, I'm exhausted, but I'm ready to talk about this show. It was a great 3-hour show, and let's...
This is a twist. I'm the only one that's awake.
This was, I agree, a great 3+ hour show.
Yes, it was.
This went from 7 o'clock until 10+.
Yep.
A little bit after, but not too bad.
I guess the Poppy performance added on that 5 or 6 extra minutes.
So we started watching at 6:30 because we were promised a pre-show, and we really didn't get a pre-show. The best I do have some notes. They showed the Broserweights final stop on their way to Portland, where we got to see them last week on NXT hop a flight aboard Triple H's private jet, a la the boot.
Yep.
In this case, they get there and they don't show them getting caught or anything, but somehow they make it out and they've got the trophy on its wheels, and they approach the Broserweight mobile or whatever the fuck it's called. And Pete Dunn wants to know from Matt Riddle, how did you get this here? How did you get this here? And meanwhile, we had to take this crazy road trip, and Matt Riddle says without blinking, creative liberties, which basically means
plot holes.
Plot holes. That's how we did it, plot holes. We needed the cart because we got to carry the trophy to the ring somehow. Plot holes. So this was kind of great, but not worth 30 minutes of my time. I would have rather than put that on in the last 5 minutes before TakeOver went on the air.
I was happy with Mansoor and Sam Roberts. I thought they did a great job hosting, doing the pre-show. Mansoor has actually got a whole bunch of energy to him, and I like him.
Mansoor got over hard, but that's off the back of Sam Roberts making himself look like a jackass.
He's good at that.
Yeah, he really is, and he takes it really easily. Like, he doesn't get interrupted by the crowd, who's trying to disrupt him by booing him. He just continues on with his work, and he continues being a jackass. But it's fine. You need a heel commentator, and I think he is really, really good at it.
Yes.
I can't wait till he makes it to a roster and starts doing that behind a commentary desk. But whatever. Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic for the North American Championship starts this show.
Yes.
I am amazed. I'm amazed. I don't think Jon Shartzer is. I think Shartzer might be one of the few people that had this match starting the show.
I did too.
Oh, Colin. There you go. So, I will let one of you go first then. How about Colin? What did you think about this North American Championship opening match?
Fucking wow. Was this a cruiserweight match? Was this... I mean, all right. So Dominik Dijakovic is 6'7", like 260, 280 pounds, something like that.
260.
And then you got Keith Lee, who is 6'2", 320, and Keith Lee hits a fucking Hurricane Rana on Dominik Dijakovic. Like, jumps up and nails it. These two dudes, this was a pissing contest, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Just a brutal pissing contest. Like, anything you can do, I can do better. And wow, what a perfect match to start off this card. I believe this has been one of the most stacked cards for NXT TakeOver in a long time, if not ever. You saw Dominik Dijakovic try to go do his little backflip thing over the ring ropes like he normally tries to do and gets caught.
Yep.
Gets straight up caught by Keith Lee. And just the amazing strength that these guys have. Awesome match, but you saw the wear and tear show up and pretty much cost Dominik Dijakovic the match by the end of it because he couldn't pick Keith Lee up. So awesome start to the show.
John?
Yeah, so this match was first. Exactly what I thought it was going to be first. Just the energy, what they bring to the crowd. I mean, Keith Lee, with Dijak up against the guardrail and just those overhands just smacking the shit out of his chest. Before that led to the whole, superhuman in the chair and then Dijak doing the crazy flip and all that shit. Just kind of got crazier and crazier. Two guys that have done everything you think. They fight each other a million times. They always step it up. Didn't disappoint this time either. Hell of a match. Keith Lee's still champion, like he should be.
Jerry?
You and I have gone back and forth about this, how Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic was making NXT television for a long time for us. So we actually established at one point the only way they can make this match even more personal or more vicious is throw a belt into the mix. And that's exactly what they did.
And do it at TakeOver.
And do it at TakeOver, yes. So for that to happen, and for this to go down, no more pushing off the matches, no more waiting 2 or 3 weeks for it. We got it tonight, and they damn near stole the show. Like right from the get-go, we had Poppy play for like 5 or 6 minutes, which was like kind of weird, and then we had this match, which was just brutality and flight, and it was just awesome from start to finish.
Yeah, these guys, you talk about their power, but when you talk about their power, you have to talk about their agility, because the only reason that they can be so agile with each other is because the other guy has enough power to help. In the case of what Colin talked about, that Fosbury flop that Dominik Dijakovic does over the top rope, or his version of which, that Keith Lee catches. He can only do that onto a guy and expect to be caught by Keith Lee and like maybe 3 or 4 other people in this world.
Yeah.
I think Mark Henry might be able to do it currently.
Because he's the world's strongest man.
Yeah, but other than that, these guys are just amazing with each other. Does this... It escapes and then does this suplex roll. Okay, so he suplexes Keith Lee onto the apron, and Keith Lee basically just rolls onto the apron, but then falls off face first onto the floor outside.
He even screamed time to fly right before he did it.
I think he made that call because that suplex didn't look so hot. He's like, I got to make this look like something happened.
Yeah.
So he fell off. Dijakovic hits that cyclone boot and a corkscrew moonsault for a near fall. Hits an avalanche Olympic slam. They're both on the middle rope in the corner, and he picks him up for a fireman's carry. And when he comes off, it kind of looks like a Death Valley driver, but he kind of just twists into a Samoan drop, which I would call it an Olympic slam, but call it what you want. It was cool as fuck looking.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get outside, and Lee silences the whole arena. And I don't just mean, okay, everybody up front, then you can hear it. No, it went dead silent. He silenced the whole crowd before he hit those double chops to Dijakovic's chest, who was on, like, he was laying up on the barricade. Did it twice because the crowd called for him to do it again. And then he does the third time and then gets super kicked. And then that's when Dijakovic puts him on the chair, and then I think, he super kicks him, and then he goes up and does that senton into Lee on that rolling chair.
Pretty much the spot of the night, I believe.
Probably, and he almost landed short. They get back in the ring, and Lee hits a spirit bomb for a near fall, hits another spirit bomb, or no, he hits the spirit bomb, and Dijakovic somehow like falls out of the spirit bomb,
rolls out of it, and just starts screaming at him.
But then gets another spirit bomb, and that's a near fall. And then they go up top, and Dijakovic hits an avalanche Spanish fly. So kind of answering Keith Lee's avalanche Spanish fly from a couple of matches ago. Gets a near fall. But then they get back up, and Dijakovic cannot pick up Lee for the Feast Your Eyes. He tries twice and drops him. Lee counters right into the Big Bang Catastrophe, the BBC. He hits him with his big black cock for the pinfall. We get some aftermatch respect, but really no aftermatch here. It's all about the match that they just put on, and what a bar to start the show at.
Who is the person that unseats Keith Lee at this point?
Keith Lee. When he gets called up, they'll have to be like, here's your title, sorry. Sorry I can't defend it successfully anymore, but here's your title. I'm going to move on to Raw or SmackDown or whatever.
What do you think, Colin? Do you see somebody actually unseating him, or do you see him being one of those ones that just kind of lets the title go?
Well, I'm trying to figure out who it could be because I'm playing in my head right now, and I'm trying not to spoil the show for anybody, right now. So it's like the guys I could see in mid-card are kind of infused with other people right now. So it's like, all right, so the whole mid-card of NXT right now is kind of intertwined with something else. So, I don't know, Killian Dane, if they did it right, but they've already flopped him again since he's come back to NXT.
Damian Priest. Again, they've kind of been there, done that with Keith Lee and him already, I feel.
I think he's due for a rematch, though.
Here's an idea. What if they bring back Lars Sullivan?
We haven't seen him in ages. That would make sense.
Well, we know Lars is used to handling BBCs, so I guess.
So that brings us to Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai in a street fight. And this wasn't as much Falls Count Anywhere kind of match as I would think a street fight would get. They didn't get very far away from the ring. Most of the match was in the ring. They just were using a bunch of weapons. Most of the weapons you expect. They did have a cricket bat. That was fun.
Yeah, that was neat.
They got to be broken over the ring post. Because I'm like, why would you swing it at her head when you have her leg trapped in the steps? Her leg, the one that is injured and shit, why wouldn't you be swinging at the steps? Or fuck the cricket bat, drop kick the steps.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was a fun match. It pointed toward the victory that should happen, and then came at you from the left side with a high knee from Roderick Strong to completely change the outcome of the match for a reason that nobody could ever predict.
Yeah.
Still yet, Dakota Kai wins. Therefore, I'm 2-0 at this point. It was a good night for me.
Yeah.
As far as predictions go. John, what did you think about the street fight here?
I love the match, actually. I like the cricket bat, the swing, it didn't connect, obviously, but it was cool just to see it. The match is better than I thought it was going to be, honestly. Let's look over some notes real quick. The chain was cool.
Yeah.
That was an addition. That was neat. The table, the interference I thought was stupid. Ruined the match. The fact that the table didn't break, it made it even worse. So, what I thought was a really good match, just destroyed by the end of it. Killed it for me.
They really should have learned by this point about those tables in the women's matches. They just don't have enough weight. I think we saw in a WWE pay-per-view recently, might have been TLC, where somebody was supposed to go through a table and they ended up bouncing off the table. And it's like, well, duh. Like,
Right.
you need breakaway tables, something that's meant for the...
You need IKEA brand at this point. You need particle board. You need tables put together by hex wrenches.
I'm okay with the finish because this is honestly a feud that they can continue past this because of whatever reason. This is introducing somebody new into the women's division, into a high-profile feud, and thus it is making the women's division a little bit deeper, which is always a good thing, especially when it looks like there's some stars that are getting ready to get plucked, like Shayna Baszler.
Well, Baszler is pretty much gone.
Colin, what do you think about this street fight?
I thought it was a good match. Like, first thing I noticed right off the rip was someone got some extensions since Wednesday.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, Dakota's hair is long as shit.
Way long.
I mean, this match happened right off rip. You know what I mean? Like, right, not even full entrances. Boom. This match was right off rip. A lot of energy. Again, I wasn't a fan of the ending. If the table would have broken, I'd have been a little better with it. But what's her name? Raquel? Is that her name? Raquel?
Raquel Gonzalez.
Like, whenever she showed up, because we've seen her before. They're trying to say this is like her debut, but we've seen her before. Cowbell, like, you know, Bradshaw in a chick. But anyways, I thought it was a really good match. I liked the fact that they brought the cricket bat, like straight Casey Jones style. Like, it's not something you don't see every day.
Right.
It's seriously something you don't see every day.
And even the chain. Even the chain was something you don't see a lot.
And even the duct tape.
Duct tape, yes.
Last time I saw duct tape was like, what, Cena Batista?
Batista, yeah.
But then that's the last time I remember seeing that. But no, man, I liked it. And like you said, Stefan, they can continue this feud now, but I picked Tegan Nox, so I was a little upset at the ending of it. But it is what it is. Good match. Good for you ladies.
Dakota Kai is now on her way of being like probably the biggest heel wrestler in NXT, or a women's wrestler in NXT, because now she's got her enforcer. Like, that makes it easier for her to go after Rhea Ripley in the title if she ends up going that route, or just like a good enough momentum going in, because now it looks like Bianca Belair. I'm not sure what's going to happen with her. Tegan Nox, I'm pretty sure this feud's over for right now. I like, if anything, she'll probably have a match with Raquel Gonzalez and lose that. But the match itself, I thought was just great. It was everything you're expecting for a street fight. We had a lot of weapons play, and just vicious kicks from Dakota. I love watching Dakota kick people. And her ensemble was just awesome. the shirt with the King Coda on the front, and then like her like a cartoon caricature of her kicking Tegan Nox's head off on the back was just brilliant.
I have to agree with John in that I am surprised by this match. Like, it went way above my expectations, and
most women's matches do.
No, I don't think so. I think maybe Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair's match didn't meet my expectations.
No, I mean, like, let's say Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae in Toronto. Like, we kind of went into that match like, why the fuck is this even going to be on the TakeOver card?
And then suddenly it took over TakeOver.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of notes. Just some stuff. Just, we got to see the chiropractor again after a while, and she actually hit it pretty spot on. When the duct tape came into play, that's because she duct taped Tegan Nox's arm to the ring post and then kicked her twice. The second kick, she broke the duct tape, so must have been a 100-mile-an-hour kick.
I think it's probably supposed to be 3 kicks, but that second one landed so well, they're like, oh, screw it.
They should totally call that the 100-mile-an-hour kick. Anyway, Nox hits a choke slam off the top and a Molly go round for a near fall.
The Molly go round was great.
And then she ties Dakota Kai up with a chair with her neck like draped over the edge of it while it's set up. And then goes for a kick, but Dakota Kai dodges the kick and then tosses the chair at Tegan Nox and kicks her in the face. Let's see. And then catches a Shiniest Wizard. No, oh fuck, I'm skipping way ahead. That's where the duct tapes thing happens, and then does those 2 face wash kicks. And then Nox ends up smacking Kai in the knee with this laptop that Dakota Kai grabbed from the announcer's table or the timekeeper's table. One or the other.
Timekeepers.
And then she starts attacking the knee with a chair and then a chain. And then she like wraps the chain up and then hits a Shiniest Wizard. And then that's not enough. She could probably have the match there, but instead she goes outside to retrieve the table that was already set up, that was teased earlier. Brings it back into the ring, sets it up, and then does she? Maybe she puts Dakota Kai on it or something, but she gets up on the top rope, and that's when Gonzalez comes out and attacks her.
She put Dakota Kai on the table, but then she put the chair around Dakota Kai's neck at the same time.
Yeah, so she was going for a broken neck.
She was going for a broken everything.
So Gonzalez comes out, attacks her, and ends up double choke slam bombing her into, but not through the table. And then Dakota Kai kind of just crawls over there into the pinfall. 1, 2, 3.
And Dakota Kai looks more surprised by this than anybody. She gets picked up by Raquel Gonzalez, her arm raised in victory. So she's like, okay.
Yeah, cool. Whatever works. In this case, I'm 2 for 2. Here's an announcement I didn't see coming. NXT UK TakeOver Dublin. April 26th. So I shall remain the NXT UK Predictions Champion at least until April. For now, you'll have to see how it plays out with the NXT Championship because I'm on a roll. Now we're on to Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor. This was a brutal match.
Yes.
These two went at each other like they were trying to end the other's career using the other's dirty tactics. We've seen this out of Gargano before when he started picking up some of Tommaso Ciampa's dirty tactics to win. And he started getting this darker side of him. But not to foreshadow anything, but Finn Balor wins this one too. So I'm up 3 for 3. Feeling good about myself. Jerry, what'd you think about this grudge match?
I've been stoked on Finn Balor since he returned to NXT, and even prior to that when we met him in Toronto. This match was everything I was expecting it to be. You had the ultimate battle between good and evil, but at the same time, so you have so many people rooting for Gargano and so many people rooting for Ciampa at the same time. No, not Ciampa. Blah. I'm getting ahead of myself. Balor. And Balor did exactly what he said he was going to do. He pretty much... He could have very well ended Gargano's career if he wanted to with that last 1916 DDT. Because that wasn't even a DDT. It was like almost like brain buster.
It was a roll-through brain buster. He was aiming for neck.
That whole match was just brutal brilliance and a whole bunch of ring psychology in there too. Because you had Gargano working over Finn Balor's shoulder the entire time, but you had Finn Balor working on Gargano's leg, which I'm like, Balor doesn't really have any leg submissions, but we'll see how this works. And sure enough, he pulled off almost like an Indian deathlock type maneuver. So, but this match went exactly how I thought it was going to end, and the coup de grace at the end.
Yeah, Jesus. Colin, what'd you think about Balor versus Gargano?
In my opinion, it started off a little slow for me. But wow, these two dudes tore it down. Finn Balor made it clear why he's back in NXT, why he's back. That is, his territory. Because we basically had Mr. NXT versus Mr. NXT, and I am just mind blown by these two. Like it's hard to put in words sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just the offense that these guys had the counter back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we kept seeing the Gargano escape and then the flip around to try to go for the 1916 again. And then somehow he'd flip back around. It was insane. We saw the table spot with Finn Balor running off of the table and doing his little...
Yeah.
I can't remember what drop kick he calls it, but it's just when he's running, just double drop kicks up, launches Gargano off the table into the guardrail, but the table didn't break. The damn announcer's table didn't break. They had the screws on that one. It's
the people in Portland know how to make a fucking table.
their craftsmanship is fucking primo.
Yes, it is.
Like Chad said in Armbar, I am the table. This was the night of I am the table. But I thought this match was awesome. Obviously, Finn Balor was going to go over. There's so many people picked Gargano, and it would have been cool. But look, Balor's back at NXT for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So he's coming to claim his throne back. And he's got to go through Gargano to do it, and he did it, and it was fucking vicious.
John?
The thing with John Gargano and Finn Balor both is that, like, just the moments that are in the match, not necessarily the moves, I guess, per se, but, like, just, like, the push-ups, I thought was a nice little fuck you from Finn, that was cool. Johnny, hitting Finn with the guns and hitting it with the drop kick, like that kind of stuff to me just helps tell the story of it all, and those are fucking great to me. When he goes for like the DIY meet in the middle thing or whatever, and gets caught the sling blade twice, like the first time, okay, cool. Second time, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Those things, got me really into this match. Like I said, maybe started a little bit slow, but again, with the push-ups, kind of made up for that kind of stuff. But by the time the match was over, it was a fantastic fucking match. I picked Finn. At this point, I'm 3-0. Would have rather had Johnny, but it feels good to at least be, at this point, perfect, but it did not last.
Well, yeah, I think I agree this match started a little slow, but I'm okay with it. I feel like the story they were telling, each of these guys is coming into this match not themselves necessarily, because Finn Balor is coming in to NXT after having said killed the version of Finn Balor that we previously saw on Raw and SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully.
So he's this new Finn Balor, but we've also got Johnny Gargano, who's been on the shelf for like 3 or 4 months and just had his first match back last week. So I'm okay with the feeling out process, because eventually it got to be a match where they were just countering each other all over the place, which means that either they faced each other before elsewhere, or they're just that good at studying tape.
Probably at the Performance Center back when they were first starting.
At one point, Balor catches Gargano doing a suicida to the outside and goes for a 1916, but instead Gargano pushes him into the steps. Let's see. Balor catches a slingshot stunner, or slingshot DDT, whatever it is that Gargano does, but he catches it and then goes for a 1916, but then Gargano counters that into a lawn dart into the turnbuckle, which he tried to pull off earlier but failed. This is where the breakdown happens, but the breakdown happens at the edge of the ring, and Gargano's on the apron and Balor's on the inside, and they start beating the shit out of each other. They hit double kicks to the head through the ropes, if you can picture that.
It's really sweet looking.
They both go down, and then Gargano dodges a double stomp because he gets draped over the top, and then that's where he slingshots into the DDT, and then somehow he's on the mat and dodges a coup de grace because he got that John Woo drop kick, but he dodges the coup de grace into the Gargano escape, and then gets countered with a stomp out of that. And then, again, Gargano counters a 1916 with the Gargano escape, right back into it, but Balor gets to the ropes. And then Gargano drop kicks Balor into the barricade, and then clears the Spanish announce table just to get attacked, and then Balor doing the John Woo drop kick off of the Spanish announce table into the barricade outside. And then throws him back in the ring. And this is where we get the coup de grace that lands square on his gut.
Perfect.
And then the 1916 rolling DDT, fuck your neck, for the pinfall. And yeah, Finn Balor, of course.
And
Finn
nuts
Balor.
on the cheek.
They're building up Finn Balor for a reason. He's not going to lose to Johnny Gargano here. Johnny Gargano is not Johnny Takeover because he wins the matches.
He puts on match of the nights. He just doesn't win them.
So this is fine. Meanwhile, we're backstage with Cathy Kelly and possibly her very last interview.
At least
on
with the
NXT
Undisputed Era.
television.
Yeah.
She's talking to Roderick Strong, who's about the most uninteresting person to talk to in the Undisputed Era tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He is not wrestling. But he's got some shit going on with Velveteen Dream that he doesn't want to talk about. He'd rather talk about, well, duh, what's important tonight? The tag team titles are being defended. The NXT Championship is being defended. But by the dudes behind me, why are you talking to me? I just wanted to mention that. It's kind of stupid, but it was nice to see Cathy Kelly at least one last time, unless you want to go and listen to her interview Triple H after the show. Meanwhile, Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. I am a little surprised that this was our fourth match and not the match before the main event. But sure, why not? It was a fun match. I think I expected more out of it than what we got. I was a fan of the ending, though. It was very clever.
Yeah.
Very clever ending. Let's let John go first on this one.
Yeah, so if you would ask me which women's match was going to be better going into tonight, I would have told you it would have been Rhea versus Bianca Belair. And surprisingly, that wasn't the better of the two women's matches. That wasn't a bad match. It just wasn't what I was hoping for it to be. The Gorilla Press, Bianca, on Rhea, that was cool. Rhea smacking the shit out of Bianca's chest. It was an alright match. I knew, a lot of people thought that Bianca was going to win. I never really felt that was going to happen. Yeah, Jerry, sorry. But the Charlotte thing was an obvious call. That was going to happen. It was what it was, basically, for me, for this match.
Maybe these shows are getting formulaic, but I knew Rhea Ripley was going to win. Colin, you knew too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I knew that Bianca Belair stood a Ice Cube's chance in fucking hell of winning this match. So, this match was my least favorite match of the card, to be honest with you. I know, which makes me sad.
It's fair, though. That is fair.
It makes me sad, but I was expecting so much more from this match. And we got some good stuff, yes. Rhea's got some new ring gear. Looks pretty dope.
It's not new.
It's nothing. It's nothing we haven't seen though.
We've seen that ring gear in NXT UK. Sorry.
It's been a while, but still, it's. I feel like there's a lot more they could have done in this match. I feel like I've watched this match before. For some reason, it felt like something I've already seen, and it was good, but it didn't suck me in interesting wise. Everyone played their greatest hits, and that was really kind of it. We saw the riptide off the middle rope for the win, but it's kind of the same way she beat Shayna, was with the riptide off the ropes. Instead of her flipping around this way, she did it straight off last time, but still, it's off the ropes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jerry?
This match didn't sit right with me. And it's not just the fact that Bianca Belair lost. I've made peace with that. That's fine. But it's the fact that she went down with one riptide. We see any match that I've seen Rhea Ripley actually win in, it usually takes like 2 or 3 riptides to put somebody down. It only took one to Bianca Belair to put her down.
But it was kind of a half avalanche-ish.
But even then, I think that should have warranted at least a kick out. Or there should have been a riptide somewhere prior to
What
that.
they didn't mention, and what some of you have missed, was right before she hit her with the riptide, when she had when she slid through her legs and
She
had
grabbed her
hold
by
of
the arm and smacked her face.
She pushed her. She hit her in the ass and caused her face to go into the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
So she hit her with a knockout blow and then a riptide off of the middle rope.
Yeah. But even then, I think it would have made her look a little more powerful in the match if she had somehow kicked out of like an earlier attempt at the riptide. And
Maybe, okay, sure.
yeah, otherwise, the match was okay. I actually favored Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox over it. But at the same time, like, the aftermatch is what everybody was waiting for anyway.
Yeah, basically.
So,
and that's what made this match, like Colin said, Bianca Belair had a cold ice cubes chance in hell. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. I had a little bit, I had faith in her, but at the same time, if this is what needs to happen for, like, the WrestleMania match that we're going to be getting now, that's fine.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. So you knew that Bianca Belair, or at least I knew that Bianca Belair wasn't going to win. But I've got an awful lot of notes for a match that was, like, the least interesting on the card. Like, Rhea Ripley hits this electric chair bomb, gets a near fall out of it, but what was cool was right out of the near fall, she goes right into that, what I'm going to call the poison clover.
Yeah.
That inverted four-leaf clover
like
that she
that.
does. Because they like to call the inverted Rana the poison Rana.
And she was smacking the hell out of Bianca Belair's ass through the whole thing.
Speaking of smacking the hell, they get a spot where Rhea's sitting up in the corner and they start smacking each other in the face. Oh, trading bitch slaps over and over until Belair gets her hair and whips Rhea. And then that's when she does that military press off the middle. And it looked a little set, like Rhea was a little bit more weight than Bianca could handle.
Yeah.
She just real briefly gets her up and then drops her face first, which I guess was okay. It showed.
Well, she also walked with her into the middle of the ring.
Not really. Go back and rewatch. They trade their finisher setups and wiggle out of each one of them, and then we see a boot by Rhea where Bianca was trying to leapfrog over her. She just gets kicked in the gut. But then Belair gets back up and spears Ripley, and now they're both down. Now we're to the breakdown, and they're on their knees, giggity. I have that written in, actually. Belair hits a back body drop to Rhea Ripley over the top rope, and Rhea just doesn't turn, doesn't, like, prepare, just goes flying down feet first. And it looks like she buckles just for a second and then falls. Like, I don't know if she was supposed to land that or not. If she was supposed to land it, she botched it. If she was supposed to catch herself safely, I think she botched that too.
Yeah.
But either way, Belair does Conilo over the top rope onto her and nearly hurts them both. I think Rhea might be a little bit too far away on that one. Anyway, that's where they both end up on the top rope, and Rhea slides through, taking Belair's arm with her, and then pushes her into the top rope, and then pulls her off into the riptide. So sort of a half avalanche. 1, 2, 3. She gets the victory, and as she's celebrating, Charlotte Flair attacks from behind. She gets a mic and says, "So I thought about it, and I will see you at WrestleMania." And then hits her with a natural selection. Goes outside, picks up Bianca Belair for good measure, throws her into the ring steps, and then heads out. And she's wearing this completely see-through shirt. Totally see her bra. And so you've got Charlotte Flair showing up looking super sexy on NXT TakeOver. Shouldn't that boost the match a little bit? A little bit. So that was the aftermatch. It was Charlotte Flair accepting the match at WrestleMania. And my question is what Jerry's question was. Does that mean that Rhea is not going to...
to Tampa defend? Yeah,
is she going to defend at NXT in Tampa? So we'll see.
I don't know.
What'd be really interesting is if they like bypass that and just give us a WWE Women's title match at TakeOver Tampa.
We shall see. In the meanwhile, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly defend the tag team championships against the Broserweights, Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle. And if I do say so myself, not only was this the match of the night, but the person, not the match, not the team, the person that stole the show tonight was, by and large, Matt Riddle.
Right.
He was great.
He was a beast.
They came out in the Broserweight mobile, and him getting the crowd going with the how many fish could Bobby Fish fry? Bobby Fish could fry fish chant that had a fish dancing with the words on the screen. And then eventually up on the Trons, they had some of those talking fish with Bobby Fish's head saying the words. And from that point on, I mean, he was the one that got the hot tag in the match, and he did everything after that point to win this match and to nearly lose the match and make you think, oh, they're going to lose, but then comes back and holy shit.
The ring psychology in this match was off the charts.
Let me get Matt Riddle's dick out of my throat.
Jon Shartzer. No, we have to go with Jon first, because I think he's one of the very few people that actually had the Undisputed Era winning this match.
Tell us how disappointing that was, John.
So the funny thing about it was, to get ahead, to go really far ahead, but when they started doing, the fuck ups and bumping into each other, I look at my fiance, I'm like, here we go, this is it, this is where they start, unravel, and this is gonna set us up for Tampa and Dunn versus Riddle, blah blah blah. And I was like, or not, or what the fuck is going on? But like in my notes, I have just regular notes, yada yada yada. Of course, how many legs can Bobby Fish break? Bobby Fish can break legs. Nigel got me with that one. Then I have Matt Riddle cleans house, wins with German suplex, and then it's just Matt Riddle, Riddle. Like he said, stole the fucking show, dude. Made a believe out of me. Again, it sucks that I was wrong on that one. The only match that I missed, but hell of a match, so it is what it is.
You can't get them all right all the time unless you're me over the last month. I am 12 for 12. Oh, I let it go. Damn. Anyway, what I didn't mention in the last match, and I want to get to that before we get to Colin, because these are going to be our witnesses, and you guys are probably going to get to see this. I think I'm going to tease it. I think I'm going to tease it like I did last time. I'll do the setup at the beginning during the intro, and then you'll have to wait through the video to see it. But Jerry and I had another gentleman's bet. The 3-chop challenge. And that was
Chris Willis challenge.
That was for Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. He was so sure Bianca Belair was going to win. He wagered 3 chops, and I was damn sure Rhea Ripley was going to win. I even gave him the betting odds that she would win cleanly without any shenanigans. And so you'll get to see 3 chops to Jerry's furry fucking chest. Meanwhile, Colin, what did you think about the tag team match?
This was the match of the night for me. I really thought that Gargano and Balor was going to steal the show, but holy shit. There's a few times I really thought that the shit was going to hit the fan with both teams, because you saw Undisputed Era have miscalculations and have collisions, and same thing with the Broserweights. And Broserweights had a few different times. Pete Dunn went to go kick Kyle O'Reilly, and he ducked and kicked that ring post so fucking hard. I thought he was going to be out of the match, like, for the remainder of the match. I really did. This was tag team wrestling. Pete Dunn and Matt Riddle have been teaming together for 4 weeks now? Mm-hmm. And they look like they have been a well-oiled machine for years. Because you look at Red Dragon, or Silver Dragon, if you're Bobby Fish today. Jesus Christ. Just forget that shit, man. Just forget that shit. God damn, Bobby Gray Fish.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing.
Like, at first I thought it was the lighting, and then I saw more and more. I'm like, God damn. Like, I forgot you're in your fucking mid-40s already, and Pete Dunn's 25. But, I thought it was a great match. Matt Riddle was a machine. Pete Dunn sold a lot of really good moves, in my opinion, especially when they were working on his legs and the joint manipulation and stuff like that.
Right on the bare knee.
Because we've seen the work in the past with UE and British Strong Style. So we've seen Fish, O'Reilly, and Dune. I love the fact that Nigel kept calling him Doom. But no,
Peter
congratulations to the Broserweights. I thought it was really funny at the end of the match when Pete put the belt in his mouth and they were going to go do the pose. When Riddle got down and then Pete did his thing and the belt is completely fucking backwards. Like,
Yep.
it is just...
So he has to
just
turn it
like
around and the
that.
camera cuts to way up here to where
Yeah, he's like, oh shit.
and then pans
Right.
down. And by the time you get to him, the pose is over and it's like, funny. Yeah, I noticed that as well. I noticed those things. What do you think about the match, Jerry?
There's a couple moments in it that I found like extremely hilarious. Like there was just one moment where one of the commentators said like Bobby Fish has had his fair share of injuries. And I had to look at Stefan and I'm like, he's had my fair share of injuries. He's had Stefan's fair share of injuries. He's had both of your fair shares of injuries. There's like a dream match that I have in my head of him versus Travis Banks on who's going to make it out to a ring without getting fucking injured. So, like... Stefan thought the only way that they could, change that tie would have O'Reilly get injured somewhere in the match, but that didn't end up happening. We had a really great match from start to finish. A whole bunch of ring psychology, got to see all the greatest moves out of all of them, and the whole Bobby Fish with gray hair thing, I think it works for him. I think it's going to make him the most interesting fighter on the planet. He's going to start selling alcohol all over NXT. That's going to be the whole thing that he's going to do from here on in. But the Broserweights winning the tag titles, that just makes sense to me. Because right now, they are just white hot. And it's just because Matt Riddle makes everything a thing. The whole, like, Riddle's going to smoke you, we hear that a lot in the arena at that point. We hear, like, everybody's just so on board with this whole Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne dream tag team that I couldn't really be angry about them not, splitting up, like, either at the end of the Dusty Classic or here. I want to see them be tag team champions for longer.
I think this match went exactly as it needed to go. It had the perfect teases for you to think that, oh, this is how Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly retain the titles when, in fact, they're going to lose them. I think the only way they could have made this better was what we had talked about before the match even started, along the lines of the injuries, would be if Bobby Fish or Kyle O'Reilly would get injured early on in the match and have to be taken out and replaced by Roderick Strong, who ends up taking the pinfall and causing them to lose the belts.
That's something else I didn't mention. It's the fact that, this was Pete Dunne's revenge on Undisputed Era from Roderick Strong turning on him and costing them the championship.
So you'd have that story there, too. I think that's the only way you could have made this any better. But for what it was damn near perfect. And like we said, Matt Riddle stole the show. Pete Dunne was cool too. He hit 2 X-Plexes, one to Fish onto the apron, and then one to O'Reilly onto Fish onto the apron. That was cool. O'Reilly hits a dragon screw leg whip though onto Dunne while he's in the ropes, and then Fish kicks his leg out from under him and he goes like tumbling head first to the outside. This is where they start working over his leg. But eventually he gets that hot tag to Riddle, who goes the fuck off onto everybody.
Oh! That was a good one. All right. 2 more actually.
He hits everything on both of the members of Red Dragon, and then eventually hits a bro to sleep into a German for a near fall. And then Dunn gets in and they hit a power bomb with a high knee into the back, but they don't get the pinfall. And this is where I thought maybe that was like their one shot and it's all gonna fall apart from here. And sure enough, it seems like it was gonna, because at one point Matt Riddle like runs into Pete Dunne and sends him off the apron. At another point he gets in and tries to help but ends up spearing Pete Dunne. And then the Undisputed Era hit this assisted DDT into a catapult throw onto Riddle for a near fall. And Dunn kicks out of a brain buster with the kick. That's where we thought maybe they were going to
Chase the Dragon. The heroin move.
But then we get the pop up into the bro bomb, rolling up into that double knee kick with the kick to the back of the head, picks him up into the bro to sleep with the kick to the head, and they pin him right there. 1, 2, 3. The Broserweights are the new tag champs, and I am 5 for 5 at this point. Moving on to the main event.
Ding ding.
Now, this was the one that who the fuck knows who's going to win. And much like the street fight, the finish came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever, man. Adam Cole remains NXT champion.
You're
welcome.
6 for
6. And I am perfect for the last month, which is awesome. Although so was Noah. So Noah went 6 for 6 too. And I think he got 1 match order right. So maybe he gets a title. We'll see. In the meantime, what an awesome match. Colin, why don't you go first? Your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. This match was the king of the near falls. I don't know how many near falls there were in this match, but good Lord. And each one of them like kept it right there too.
This was very Steamboat Savage in that way.
Yes, we knew this match was going to be physical. We knew this match was going to be intense. Tommaso Ciampa has been back, and he wants his fucking title back. He wants the thing that he never lost, and he's bound and damned determined to do anything and everything that they can. We saw the referee be super cool in this match. They spent a lot of time outside the ring in this match. A lot of time. And, like, they'd be outside the ring for a good 35, 40 seconds, and he's not even counting yet. Like, you know, so props to you, referee. I don't know your name yet, but...
The black one.
Good for you. Yes. Yes. It's your... making things count. But,
Black refs matter.
Black history in the making.
It's Black History Month, man.
Black history in the making. What were your thoughts, John?
But no, man.
Oh, my bad.
I thought it was a very good match. I did not see the swerve at the end coming whatsoever, but I knew Adam Cole was going to walk out because he's going to drop it in Tampa.
John?
Yeah, God. This is the one match that even the prediction video, I was like, Cole, Ciampa, fuck, couldn't decide. In my official predictions, I ended up going with Cole. In my family predictions, I stuck with Ciampa, and then I don't know why. Some pretty cool spots though. The I don't know if the table was supposed to break the first time that he powerbombed him or not, and it did. And the crowd's like, one more time. He's like, all right, fuck it, one more time. Go to the table again. That was pretty cool. The suplex onto the table that tried to kill Ciampa. That was cool.
That was brutal.
Cole attempts to tope for some reason. That was caught by the Ciampa knee. That was kind of weird, but, you know, again, tells part of the story. And then here comes Johnny. Here's Johnny. And God damn it. I kind of like it. I kind of don't like it. I don't know. I do like that if Johnny and Ciampa get their WrestleMania weekend, you know, their big WrestleMania match, then they're going to fucking tear it down. So I'm cool with that. I wish they would have let Ciampa and Cole just finish it clean, but I think if we get Ciampa and Johnny again, I'm okay with it.
I'm hoping we get a fatal 4-way like Jerry suggested.
Mm-hmm.
Where we get Ciampa, Gargano, Cole, and Finn Balor.
Balor, oh yeah.
Because it's safe to do it now because there's no allegiance between Johnny and Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts, Jerry?
Damn it, Jerry, I like it.
I turned you and Noah around on this match.
You did.
And rightfully so. Granted, it didn't end the way I thought it was going to, but I'm actually very happy with the way it ended because it was almost like Bray Wyatt turned Finn Balor evil, and now Finn Balor has turned Johnny Gargano evil. Whereas at least bringing out his vicious side and making him like realize it's not about victories over like singles competitors, it's about getting gold. And he was going to let Ciampa be the person that gets gold at TakeOver, especially on a night that he lost. So this match actually had a whole bunch of emotional investment because you had Ciampa, who never lost a title, and you wanted him to win back the title. You've seen all the vignettes. You've seen all the neck surgery videos. You've seen him like crying about having to relinquish the belt and everything. But then you have Adam Cole, who's had just an awesome reign so far, and you're expecting him to drop the belt, but at the same time, you don't want him to drop the belt because he's an entertaining champion. And you can't have the Undisputed Era lose all the gold in one night.
Nope.
That just doesn't seem right. It's chipping away at the foundation. We've had Roderick Strong lose the North American title. We've had Red Dragon lose their belts tonight. Cole was not going to be a disappointment. I saw the Undisputed Era coming out to the ring to help, but I also thought we were going to get a show up from Velveteen Dream and the Broserweights to fend them off. But I think what they did with the Undisputed Era out at ringside was just perfect, because it caused a whole bunch of distractions, and you would think that those distractions would have been the thing that would have cost a Ciampa the belt, or the chance at the belt. It wasn't. It was Gargano in the long run, and that was like one of the best swerves I think I've seen in a very long time on NXT.
Well, they told the story that Tommaso Ciampa was able to fend off all of the Undisputed Era. He just couldn't fend off the stab in the back from Johnny Gargano.
He didn't expect it.
But there were times in that match where Adam Cole should have lost. He kicked out of not a fairy tale ending. What was it?
Project Ciampa as well.
Project Ciampa. And they should have been there long before he'd had to kick out of that move. But eventually they show up. The ref gets taken out. So at that point, he's super cool about everything. But that's where Ciampa should have won. He just didn't have a ref to count.
Mm-hmm.
And the Undisputed Era had tried to give Cole the title. He goes for the headshot. Ciampa ducks, knocks the title down. Well, eventually he goes to pick up the title, and Johnny Gargano's standing over there, and he grabs the title. And he takes it from Ciampa, and then as Ciampa's like, "What are you doing?" he clocks him in the head with the belt. And then Cole just kind of scooches over and puts his arm over top of him, and the ref just barely gets in the ring and makes a 3 count, and there you go. I have a ton of notes, but I think I'm just going to avoid them. We saw a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, there's entirely too much cool shit in that match.
We saw 2 power bombs onto the table because the table just wouldn't break, and finally it broke. We saw a wheelbarrow suplex into Ciampa into the corner of the announce table.
They really showed off that neck and back.
We saw Cole try to go for another Panama Sunrise on the apron off of the middle corner, and instead he got countered with an air raid crash onto the apron, which
the hardest part of the ring.
Looked like it knocked him out for a second. I mean, just a cool match, lots of good spots, and then the end where Gargano turns on Ciampa. But my problem is it seems a little soon. Like it doesn't feel like he's turning on Ciampa because they really haven't had all that much interaction since Ciampa's been back.
But I also mentioned the fact that this was probably supposed to be the match we were supposed to get before Ciampa even got injured, because Adam Cole was well on his way becoming the number 1 contender for that belt, and I think he was gonna beat Ciampa and Gargano. Ciampa was going to come out on top, and then Ciampa was going to face Cole, and Cole was going to beat him.
Well, who knows? In the meantime, Adam Cole still has the NXT Championship, and so the Golden Prophecy isn't completely derailed, but almost.
And they're celebrating on the ring apron as if they all still had the gold.
Yeah, how disappointing for the tag team. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the main event. And here when we do a NXT TakeOver review, we like to actually review the whole show, as opposed to the main event.
Mm-hmm.
So taking all 6 matches into account, let's start with John. Out of 5 stars, where do you rate this NXT TakeOver?
Overall, I'd still give it a very solid 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with taking away with the end of the Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai match. That knocks it down for me. And honestly, the Rhea and Bianca, but everything else was really fucking great. The crowd, for being a standalone TakeOver show, the crowd was phenomenal. Yeah, I'm giving it a solid 4.5. I thought it was still fantastic. And it may even be higher than that. It's just those 2 kind of fit a little sour right now.
Mm-hmm.
Understood.
Yeah.
Colin?
I'm going to agree with John Boy and say 4.5. They had a few quirks in it because I would love to give it a 5-star deal, but we had a few little quirks for me. But I'm very happy with it. This is the first time we've seen 6 matches on a card. The pre-show was not a pre-show. It was the way a pre-show should be. To me, there shouldn't be matches on a pre-show. I'm sorry. Like, this isn't boxing. We don't need preliminary fights. Like, just do the fucking card. If you want the card to be 6 hours, included with the pre-show, just make the card 6 hours then. But this was a really great show. We have things we can build off of now because I was curious running into it of what the fuck are we going to do after tonight. So, 4.5, and bravo NXT, top this Tampa.
Jerry?
I'm going to have to go with 4.5 as well, and for the same reasons. The fact that the women's matches just didn't set right. Like, the past couple pay-per-views we've had with the women's matches have been phenomenal. But this one kind of fell short. Maybe it's the fact that everybody was already geared up for Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair to the point where they had already written off Bianca Belair. And for Candice LeRae and Dakota Kai, for their match didn't end with just them. It had somebody else thrown into the mix. That kind of like killed the flavor of the match and the table not breaking. But also for the fact that I know we had 6 matches, but the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, I'm surprised that wasn't on the card at all. Maybe they were afraid Devlin was going to steal the fucking show. Could that have been the case? I don't know. But the fact that Jordan Devlin didn't defend the belt or doesn't even look like he was even in attendance, that kind of bummed me out a little bit. But 4.5 seems awfully fair for this pay-per-view.
I agree, it's fair. However, I'm going to give it 4 3/4 because I'm going to give it an extra quarter star off of Matt Riddle's performance alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because wow, I mean, I think I figured out my problem with the women's title match is that with all the build-up, and they should have done Bianca Belair right. At some point, she should have gotten at least a near fall that you thought she had a chance. She should have hit the KOD on Rhea Ripley,
or kicked out of her
and had Rhea Ripley have to kick out of the KOD.
Yeah.
And then in turn, she would kick out of a regular Riptide, only to fall to that
super Riptide.
That super Riptide out of the corner that they ended up doing. The way it was, it didn't make Bianca Belair look like the credible champion they were trying to portray her as leading up to this. It just didn't. And honestly, didn't make Rhea Ripley look like she had to be a dominant champ in the ring as well. So I think that was my problem with that.
It looked like a regular NXT Women's Championship match on television.
But yeah, between that and the fucky ending on the Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai street fight, just why? It makes no sense. The finish in the main event made sense. Johnny Gargano doing it, yeah, totally. But who the fuck is this chick?
They're always on and off.
But an extra quarter star for Matt Riddle because Matt Riddle was awesome tonight, and so I'm gonna go a little bit above everybody and give it 4 3/4.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoyed it. Big card, but 3+ hours solid, and it flew by. It's not like a WWE event where you're just like, what fucking time is it?
Each match got about, 20, 25 minutes at least?
Enough.
Mm-hmm.
Enough. They got what they needed, except for the women's title match. Probably could have gotten an extra 5 or 6.
That's why I felt it actually was the shortest match on the card.
So that brings us to the end of this Afterburn rated R review. We're reviewing NXT TakeOver, but we're already done.
The aftermatch.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us for the review. Colin, John, real pleasure.
No problem.
If these folks out here in YouTube land would like to find you guys, John, where can they find you?
Right now, you can just follow me on Twitter at ShartzerJohn, or you can find me on Facebook, Jon Shartzer. That's pretty much all I do at the moment. I just do videos with you guys. So,
Colin, it won't be long. You'll have your own channel soon.
Everybody else has their own channel. Why shouldn't you?
Speaking of everyone has their own channel, I have one too. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor, all at the Cleaver Colin Andrew, spaces in between everything. Twitter is NoDQ Colin Andrew, and Instagram is Colin26 Andrew. Don't add me on Facebook. Fuck you. I just hit 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel, so
It took us fucking forever.
it took me like a year. But yeah. So mash that subscribe button, click the like button, all that stuff when you're there. Keep supporting these guys and the rest of the NXT team, and yeah, keep supporting NXT in general. So.
Yeah,
thanks for having me on, guys.
We've grown this little NXT tree. I used this metaphor the other day, where the roots are like no DQ.
Yes.
You know, but the tree trunk is like the NXT team. Specifically, I would say the NXT party. We do that, where we review NXT UK every week, and we have people on. And if you'd like to be on, you can get a hold of us, and then become one of those offshoots of the NXT
The branches.
tree.
The branches.
And all these other channels sprout up.
And then you leave.
Yeah, and then the acorn falls, and then a new tree grows.
Yes. Nature.
So anyway, if you would like to be a new branch on the tree, come join the NXT team. Help us review a future episode of NXT UK. Have a spot of NXT with us, and all of that jazz. You can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted.
Mikra.
You can also find the gentleman on Twitter.
At Gerald_JSJ, my Facebook group, Armbar. All capital, ARMBAR, exclamation point.
John doesn't know what's up. We'll get him in there.
John will get it next time.
My man.
Noob.
John, the new guy.
There it is.
There you go. All right. No. Colin draws the signs. Everybody else
I'm the
is
only paper holder around these parts.
good brother Willis. He sings it. Noah. He's just. Yep. There.
So as Jerry said, you can find us on Facebook at Armbar, but don't add us. We won't add you. You can also find us at Aftermatch Wrestling on Facebook. We have a group for that too.
And Instagram.
Instagram, aftermatch_rest.
Ran by this guy.
Yeah, Colin Andrew over here, big guy. I'm on Instagram. I don't do anything, but I'm at osborne.stefan. And Jerry's on Instagram.
_gentleman_slaughter.
And we're also on Patreon at Stefan R. Osborne if you'd like to help the channel.
Buy us stuff.
Or if you just want to help the channel and you've got some time, if you like the show, click the like button. If you like all of our shows, click the subscribe button. And if you want to watch us go live with What's NXT every week, click that bell icon. That'll let you know when we go on in the morning.
Ding.
We've been doing that lately.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see us live, click that bell. And if you want to help the channel grow, click the share button. Share us on Facebook or Twitter or Amazon.
LinkedIn, MySpace, eBay, whatever. Just put us somewhere.
Every mirror you see, just mark it.
With lipstick.
Meanwhile,
Zesty.
That one had a little more pepper on it. All right.
we need some audience here.
One more. Rile them up, people.
Yeah,
come on, let's do this.
Let's do this. One more time.
Get that hammer.
Oh!
For the bearded bastard, Jon Shartzer. For the cleaver, Colin Andrew. For the general, Jerry Slaughter. I'm the wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you in NXT time.
Oh!
Oh man.
Fuck this bet!
I don't know what would be worse, taking it or giving it. Oh, that's what she said.